Hello everyone, Kristen Brown here with KristenBrown.org. I am a life and relationship coach who help men and women heal disappointing, dysfunctional, and unhealthy relationship patterns in order to attract and create mutually loving and respectful ones. Today I want to talk to you guys about 3 steps to changing or fixing, healing almost anything in your life. These are 3 very simple steps. These are not hard. This is not complicated. The problem is that a lot of people don't want to do the work. So just know, if these are steps that you implement into your life, you are going to get results. Things are going to change for you, and your life is going to take a momentum in a completely different way than it has been so far. So the first step would be honesty. Honesty with self, complete self-honesty. A lot of times we are not honest with ourselves. Now, this is not because we're trying to be a bad person or we're dastardly in some way. Remember, this is honesty with self. This doesn't mean we're out in the world lying and manipulating and wreaking a lot of havoc. This is honesty with self. So why is that? We're not honest with ourselves because we don't want to see what we're seeing. We don't want to know that truth over there. That means we might have to change something. That means we might need to do the hard thing. Knowing the truth about something might mean that we're going to have to leave. Or it might mean something in our brain. We might be telling ourselves that it means something when really it doesn't mean that at all. But we have a correlation between knowing that and what that could potentially mean. So we just kind of turn a blind eye. We want to ignore it. We don't want to see what we're seeing. We just keep skipping through life like that's not happening. We sweep it under the rug. We change the subject if people brings it up. Or we poo-poo it or fluff it away. But here's the thing. We cannot change anything unless we are willing to be honest with ourselves and recognize it. And since we have all those reasons I just explained why we don't want to recognize something, how about giving yourself permission to simply recognize it without having to do anything? Just recognize it. Just go, I see what's happening here. I see how my partner is being verbally abusive to me. I see how my mother, father, sister, brother, cousin, whoever is a narcissist. I see how I need to step back from that group of people because they're not good for me. I see that so-and-so is an addict. You name it. Whatever it is that you're not. I'm seeing that I'm overweight because I binge eat all night long. Whatever it might be, just recognize it. Just be honest with yourself. Love yourself enough to tell yourself, I see this, I get this. And if there's some emotions that come along with it, feel them. It's okay to feel the emotions. They're not going to hurt you. They're just guideposts. And guess what? A felt emotion will dissipate eventually. An emotion that is not felt, that we push down and keep hidden, that's going to fester. And that's going to show up in our lives in other ways that are dysfunctional and unhealthy. So to recognize the truth of whatever it is you're not looking at. What is the truth that I'm not willing to see? Be honest with yourself. Just be honest. Give yourself permission to not have to take any step at that point. I'm just going to be honest with myself right now. And you can stay in that step. I don't want to say as long until you're comfortable, because we don't want to get comfortable. We always want to be just slightly uncomfortable in life. Don't stay in that step too long and move into step 2, which is take radical responsibility. If your step 1 of being honest with yourself has shined light on something that you did, and you need to take ownership for that, own the shit out of that shit. Own it. Just own it. The world is not going to fall apart. You're not going to be killed, burned at the stake. Own it. One of the single most powerful things that you can ever do in our lives, ever, is take responsibility for our behavior. Is to look at what we did and say, my bad, and make amends for it, and tell yourself that you're going to do whatever it takes, and tell your person whatever it takes to make amends for this and to own it. Sometimes people aren't ready for the amends. Sometimes they're like, I'm done with you, and that's okay. Because you took responsibility. That is one of the highest vibrating things that we can possibly do as spirits in human bodies, is own it. My bad. So you're honest with yourself first, and then you take responsibility for it, whatever it might be. If it's something from way in your past, just take responsibility to yourself, or say it out loud to another person, meaning that the person in the past is not available for you to talk to. Just take responsibility. Sometimes it's not even necessary to talk to the person. Just owning it within yourself. You know, that was crappy of me. I'm still processing through things that I did in my very, very, very first relationship in high school. Something occurred to me the other day, and I was like, oh my God. I flirted with other boys while I was with him. It was near the end of the relationship. I was getting bored, and I started flirting with other guys. Didn't cheat on him, but I flirted. And to me, that's not cool. Do I need to call my first love and tell him? No. That was how many years ago? Decades ago? But I can own that that was not cool to myself. And I can say, yeah. This is 30 years or something ago, you guys. This is a long time, but I'm going to own it. Because it's freeing, and it's in my God self, my higher self. It's cleansing me, and it's giving me emotional freedom. Okay, step number 3. Forgive yourself. Forgive yourself. Forgive yourself. Forgive yourself. You did the very best you could at the time. If you would have known better, you would have done better. I think I'm grabbing that quote from the great and late Maya Angelou. When we know better, we do better. And it's 100% true. Give yourself grace for being where you were at that time, and being spirit in an earth suit, having a human experience, messing things up, making mistakes. We are not perfect, and we weren't here to be perfect. We're here to learn lessons. We're here to grow and evolve our soul. And how do we do that? By being on earth, and by making mistakes, and by learning and growing and evolving and changing, and by listening to these type of videos. Forgive yourself. Now you might be asking yourself, well, how does being honest with myself change anything? How does taking responsibility, or how does forgiveness, how do those things go out into my life and actually change things? One, you have completely shifted your perception. Perception is our direction. So if you're in this perception and you did those 3 things, you are aiming somewhere else. You are now going a different direction. You are out of that mode. That's gone. You're not in that mode anymore. You have shifted. Does it make sense? Also, when we do these 3 steps, the reason why they change or fix things in our lives is because we are getting calmer in our essence. We are slowing down, and we are becoming more peaceful. And at that time, 2 things happen. 1, we can hear spirit better. We listen to our guidance better. And 2, we make completely different decisions when we are calm and peaceful than when we are hating ourselves, loathing ourselves, holding ourselves in contempt, afraid of looking at the truth. All of those things wrapped up together are information that lead us down a less serving path. But by doing the 3 steps, all that information wrapped up together will make us make decisions from a higher place and lead us down a better path. All right, you guys, I hope you got so much from this today. You know I love you so much. And don't forget to subscribe and share. Also, I would super love if you leave in comments any questions you have, any ahas, or just a thank you or a thumbs up, something that lets me know that you like what you're hearing. All right, you guys, much love. Peace.